And welcome to Crochet Hooks. Please enjoy our free tutorials with just one of a 24-part series on teaching you how to crochet. Subscribe to start receiving our 24 courses that are delivered to your email inbox every few days. By the time you're done, you'll know the ins and outs of crochet. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So now let's get crocheting with Curtsy.
So I'm just going to fasten this one off, like so, and make sure it's nice and tight. And if you feel more confident, you're more than welcome to kind of put a little knot in there. But what we want to do is we just want to get these stragglers to be hidden. So I'm just going to do it now and just kind of weave it into the edging of the actual last stitch that we did. The interesting thing about that is that we're not going to be really concentrating on stitches on this project. We're concentrating on posts. And I'll explain that in just a few minutes. So that's good enough for me, and we are going to move on. So grab your next color, and it doesn't matter which side we're going to start on. It's all going to be the same. So it kind of looks a little warped at this point. It's going to balance itself out once we get working. So let's start again to the next round. Okay, grabbing your next color, we're just going to create a slip knot, just like we always have before. And now this is where we ended, so we might as well just start there. So it's saying to start on the 9th one that's available. Okay, so it's the 9th treble. So now we just kind of look at it and say, where does the trebles begin? So there's the first one right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, we want to do that. And we says we want to go into the back loop. So just there's 2 loops always in a stitch, right? The stitch is actually just both, but if there's actually 2, and so if you separate the first one, that's the front one, and if you separate the next one and behind, that's the back. So it says go into the back from there, and I'm just going to do this, go around and pull through. Okay, so now it says to chain 4. So 1, moving along to our next step, we just fastened off, and what we need to do now is be able to count around. And what we want to do is you want to just start at the first one and count all the way down till you get to the number 9, and then that is where you're going to fasten your next layer in. So it's kind of unusual because usually you kind of stop and start at the same spot, but with this one you don't. So what I want to do now is just grab my secondary yarn, just already got the slip knot done. I already have my stitch marker in there, so I knew where that was, so it can save time on filming. And I just want to stick my hook in the back loop only. Okay, so the stitches always consist of front and back loops, so I put it in the back. I'm just going to pull both material through and through. So I want to now chain up 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the magic number will be 4, 1, and 4. So 4 down this side, 1 right in the middle where you slip stitched, and then 4 on this side. Now this is the back loop of this one. So technically it should be the last 4th. Okay, it should be the last 4 on this side. So when we go to now do our first back post, it's going to be on the one directly underneath of it. So you can either count over 9 or you can cheat and just count backwards 4. So just grabbing the material, okay, and we want to go into the back loop or back post only. So you come in through the front, you pop it back out the other side, pulling it through. Okay, so pull through and then hold, and then just keep going. So go to the next post along, pull through 2, and hold. Okay, so you can see that the others are getting pulled back out of the way, making it easier as you work your way across. Okay, pulling it through and hold. Okay, so now you got 5 on your hook, which is right, okay, because you got 4 of these loops and the first one was a chain. So now we want to come into the right to the center of these 2. So grabbing the material, go right, this is where you did the slip stitch, go right in there, pull it through. Pull through 2 and hold, and now we're going to go up 4 on this side. Okay, so just going into the back, excuse me on that. This I find a little awkward. Working with the Catherine wheel stitch, working with back loops generally is quite tough to do if you're not used to doing it and you haven't done it in a while. But I do find once you get a little more into the project, you will find that you're not missing your stitches as much. Okay, so let's so I got 4 down on this side, so let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 is the magic number. I was going to say that up front, but that's what it is. So now grabbing the material and pull through all 10 at one time. Oh, look at that. You got your fabulous little circle. So now what it's saying to do when you do that 10, you have it all on your hook. You just want to chain how many? You want to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And now what you want to do is that it's saying to fasten. You know how you went in the back loop here? Look for where this finished. Okay, this is the post here. Go into the back loop on the top end, pull through and through. So just slip stitch it in, and let's move along. And now we're actually on a corner, so we're just going to do a semi piece here, and then we're going to jump around. So we do a center piece and then a semi on the corners, and then back into the center. Moving right along, you know how we did the center point here and we did our chaining of all of these to bring them all together? We're doing exactly the same thing again, but we're on a different level. So 1, so let's chain up 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now what we want to do is that you're looking for the next 4 that are here on the actual products. Okay, so you got the next 4 working along. So just wrapping the material and just coming up underneath of it. So you're just continuing along the circle. Pull through 2 and hold. So you can see as we work our way around is that one side we're doing all of this holding work to create all these fans, and on the other work we're doing all of like the finishing of the actual circles. So I classify this project as one layer, one round. It's going to be probably labor intensive, and the other one it's kind of going to be a holiday. So you want to see 5 loops left back on your hook. So now just pull through all, okay, and now it's saying to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now come down. Remember how you did a back loop over here? You want to just look over to where that one's finishing and do the back loop there. Okay, so that stabilizes that in that spot. So just the back loop of the green section. I know that's kind of awkward. Pulling it through and through. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to work back into the center point again. So what do we need to do? We need to chain 4, and the reason why we're chaining 4 is that the center point is not until over here. So if you start collecting all of them here, the center point will be over here. So we want to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So essentially, see how this is going to be our center point, and the fan is going to work its all the way around. So if you've done the math correctly, there should be left 4 on here, 1, and then the next 4. So just wrapping the material and moving along. So what if you had 5 left on there? You can fake it. You can just put in another fan in there. It won't be that noticeable, but it's important that when you go the other round, when you're going up and over to create the fans, that you try to keep your numbers as equally as possible, because it does matter to a point if you start growing it incorrectly and start adding stitches here. So basically on the bottoms you can correct any mistakes, but on the top you should be really aware of if you've had to do that. So you have 5 here, which is right. Now you're just going to come into the between. This is where you slip stitched before. And now we're going to work our way back up this round over here. So just coming right underneath. So 1. So I just restart the count. That was 2. And it's very clear too as well. If you separate your eyes that way, that you can count like that instead of having to count all 10 across. but we should verify anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's blow me up some party balloons, and in the meantime let's just grab our material, pulling it through all 10, and now we want to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and now we want to fasten it in just like we did before. So look where the last one is, come over the top, and pull it through and through. So we're now back on the next corner, and let's take a quick break here and I'll be right back.